Greetings, this is Ty Brown with AthleticDirectorU. I'm here at the Collegiate Sports Summit and I'm joined by Jon Gordon. Jon is a world-renowned author and leadership consultant. Greetings, Jon. Thanks for joining me.
Good to be with you.
Now, Jon, you've been in it for a number of years now. You've worked with a number of different companies, a number of different professional teams, a number of different college teams, and just organizations and teams, period. I've always wondered in your work, are there common challenges that you see amongst all the teams, specifically in sports, that the leadership in sports that they deal with?
Yes, the same challenges apply and the same principles apply. So when I wrote The Power of Positive Leadership, I had examples from companies in there, from sports coaches in there, from athletic directors, school principals, all types of leaders. So the same leaders deal with the same challenges, same issues in terms of how to lead their organizations and their teams successfully and how to build great teams.
Right. Are there, when you talk about those two things, how to lead and how to build great teams, is there like one or two specific things that you've seen? One thing I've noticed in terms of working with leadership, I worked a lot with football coaches in the past, is that evaluation is something that great leaders often do consistently. Are there some things that you've seen that companies probably don't do enough of across the board in terms of leadership?
Well, they don't invest in their culture enough. Right. They don't focus on their culture. They focus on everything but their culture. I always say they focus on the fruit of the tree, the outcome, the numbers, the wins, the losses, the stock price, instead of the root. And if you focus on the fruit and ignore the root, what happens? The tree dies. But if you invest in the root and you make it your number one priority, you get a great supply of fruit. So it's about investing in that root. So they make that mistake. They also don't deal with negativity. We talked about that in the talk, right? They don't address the negativity. So it persists and exists and winds up sabotaging the team and the organization. As a leader, you must address the negativity in a positive way. Confront it, try to transform it. That's the goal, transform it, get them to be more positive. If you can't do that, then you must remove the negativity that is sabotaging the team. You also have to have difficult conversations. Someone came up to me afterward and said, what about like real conversations that need to happen, but they may not be positive? Great teams have difficult conversations in order to get better. Pete Carroll has Tell the Truth Mondays. So on Monday, they get together and they tell the truth. Hey, this is what happened on Sunday and it wasn't good. But no one gets offended. No one takes it personally because it's all designed to make the team better. So you're open to the feedback so you can get better and then you can make the team get better. And it's all about that. I think you have to set the expectations and let people know this is how we do things here. This is how we have difficult conversations. This is how we build our culture. So everyone comes into it understanding we're gonna have difficult conversations, but we're gonna get better in the process of having those conversations.
Right. Have you dealt with leaders who had the challenge of, now how do I do this and set this environment without people getting offended? Because there are a lot of, especially in a toxic environment, there are a lot of things that may come out that people may not want to hear.
That's a big challenge. But again, if you're honest, if you're transparent, and I always say, if you knew someone had your best interest at heart, would you be more open to their feedback? Yes. So it's about making sure that those people know that you have their best interest at heart. And maybe you haven't done a good enough job of doing that. So that's where we have to lead first. We have to go first as a leader. We have to commit to the relationship to say, you know what? I have your back. I am here for you. Let's talk about your concerns. I want to hear you. How can we get better? What can I do better as a leader? Now you've created that dialogue. And then you lead with that love tough I talked about. You know, when they know you care about them, then you earn the right to challenge them. But you also might have someone, no matter what you do, they're not happy. No matter what you do, they're an energy vampire and they want to sabotage the team and the organization. Document. I had a guy say, you know what, I can't fire them because they'll sue me for this, and this, discrimination or, blah, 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 you name it. Right. And that's a problem today, right? You have someone who just, is going to use some kind of outside force to try to, keep themselves in a job where they're not doing their job. So document. If someone's not doing the right things, if they don't care about the team, if you are doing everything possible to invest in that person, but they're just not willing to get better, you may have to just let that person off the bus. And everywhere I go, when I work with a Fortune 500 company, when I work with a sports team, when I work with an organization, whatever it may be, a hospital, there are some people that leave afterwards because I bring it to the light. And once you bring it to the light, that person can no longer work in that environment. And it always is a great thing. It actually is always helpful and great for the team and the organization. It's a little uncomfortable at first, but then you get better after that. So some people do leave, some people are let go. People come in who fit the culture and are more optimistic, more energetic and excited, and everyone feels so much better when that happens. School districts are really tough with this, and I work with a lot of school districts, the superintendent, talk to principals, and it's amazing how many schools we've transformed with our Energy Bus culture. Our Energy Bus, we have an Energy Bus for Schools program, and we've transformed it by following the simple practice and principles, but it works the same with businesses, and it works the same in sports.
Right. I'll ask you a couple of questions here before we wrap, specifically about something you're talking about there. And I imagine that a lot of the work when you go in and assess the situation, it's probably with the leader, him or herself, right?
Yes.
You can say open up the environment for critique, but if they're not one as the leader to be willing to receive critique, it probably wouldn't work at all.
It doesn't work. I'm not brought in by leaders who are not humble. Like, I'm brought in by humble leaders who are great leaders who want to get better. Dabo Sweeney always wants to get better. John Calipari and I will talk, right? He always wants to get better. Billy Donovan and I have talked a number of times over the years. He wants to improve. Corey Closet, UCLA, women's basketball coach. Like, I meet the most amazing, greatest leaders. I'm so fortunate that I get to work with these people because they all want to get better. That's what always strikes me about how amazing they are. Like, they're great. They have these incredible reputations, and yet they're willing to speak to me and anyone who could help them get better. And I think that's a hallmark of a great leader. I am willing to be humble and hungry. I'm willing to learn, improve, and grow. I don't have all the answers, and I'm always looking to get better. And even Bill Belichick, after all his wins, will still go meet with college coaches to see what they're doing that's making them successful.
Right, that's interesting. You wonder about the leaders who probably don't think they need to improve, right? And they could probably use somebody like you to come in and help with leadership. And so one more thing, some of your recent work, positive energy and that type of thing. My mother had a saying, peaceful energy radiates freely from the sun, embrace its goodness and pass it on, right? She made that back in the 70s when me and my sisters were born. And then over time, I said, this is going to be our family model, right? Spreading positive and peaceful energy. And talk about just a little bit briefly here before we wrap, how that peaceful or positive energy is something that becomes infectious in a great organization.
Well, I love that she came up with that in the 70s, right? That's a 70s kind of thing, right? But positive energy has made its way back, right? The Energy Bus is all about fueling your life, work, and team with positive energy. And it is contagious. It really is. And this is not rah-rah, Pollyanna kind of positive energy. This is the kind of stuff that makes great teams great. We're positive, we're contagious, we overcome adversity, we overcome challenges, we come together with optimism and belief, and we're here to do something great together. And we're going to overcome the adversity and the challenges and the negativity and the bitterness and the jealousy. We're going to overcome all of that, and we're going to overcome all the outside forces to do something meaningful and special and great as a team. And to me, that's what it's about. But you need positive energy to do that. You have to have it yourself, and then you have to be positively contagious with others. Like I said earlier, everyone in your team is contagious. You're either a germ or a big dose of vitamin C. So what kind of energy are you bringing to that team? You bring the positive energy, you make your team better. You bring the negative energy, you sabotage the team. And the research is very clear that positive people and positive teams outperform negative environments and negative teams.
Yes, sir. Well, Jon, this has been an excellent conversation. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with here.
Love talking to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. That was Jon Gordon. He's a leadership expert and world-renowned author. And of course, this is Ty Brown with Athletic Director U. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today.
And where they can be their best as well.